All right, hey everybody, it's Nathaniel Avila reporting from San Antonio, and I'm here joined with Ruby in studio in Dallas, and today we're joined with Ember Snow. Hi, reporting from Las
Hey,
Vegas.
thank you for
The
having
very
me today.
gorgeous, the very gorgeous Ember.
Thank you.
All right, so what's the first thing on our agenda, Ruby?
So, Ember, we are so glad to have you today, of course, because, it's not often that we do an 18 and up rating episode. So, this is our first
Ah,
one. So, thank you for being here today and helping us with that. That being said, that's one of the reasons why we don't have our other co-host joining us today because she's 17, so she's a minor.
oh, I see.
Yeah,
But
so
we're
it's
gonna
just
do some
us
juicy
three.
details today, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna do some juicy details because I know that you're an adult actor, so that's very interesting. And we know that there's a lot of stereotypes and a lot of things that people think they know, but they really don't. And it's just like there are a lot of questions that I think people, might have and might learn a little bit more from it, just by wanting to learn and, wanting to be informed about it. Because I know that sex work, first of all, is like a big controversial, argument that a lot of people have. So I think
Mhm.
Nate has some really good questions that he wanted to ask you, so we can get into that a little bit of a Q&A for you.
Yeah,
Alrighty, here we go.
yeah.
Nate.
Ruby, say,
Which I'm sure you're probably used to it. Do you get like a lot of people who once they find out what you do they like open up the floodgates to ask you all these questions?
I do have like some frequently asked questions, so let's see what you have, Nate.
okay,
Okay.
Ruby, actually, say yours first because you only have one, right?
Well, yeah, but mine is gonna go into the segment
Oh,
that's
okay.
after this. So you go ahead and go
Okay.
first.
Yeah, like so when you're like on set, do you have the ability to choose who your scene partner is or do the director just say like, "Hey, here's your scene partner right there." Um and so how does that work?
Sometimes we do have the choice. Like we're asked like who do you want to work with for this scene or who do you really have a great connection with. But most of the time we're given whoever and we can either say yes or no. And if I haven't worked with a certain talent, so then how am I gonna know?
Right.
Right. I need to
Right.
test drive whoever that talent is, and then find out, oh, okay, we're cool or we're not.
Right.
So, I mean, yes and no. There are some directors who specifically ask, who do you have a great chemistry with, and others where it's just like, this is who you're working with. Are you okay with that? There are some
Right.
people who are just like, they only have a yes list. So, whoever is not on that yes list is a no.
Okay.
And then there are others who do have a no list, like, and then the rest are just like, okay, I would be open to whoever's not in that no
All right.
list.
Do you have a yes or no list?
I used to have a no list, but I haven't seen those people working anymore. So
Oh,
maybe I don't really have to worry too much about that no list. But I'm pretty
mhm.
much open to whoever I get to work with because I just love being on sets and working with either someone new or someone who I'm already very familiar with.
Mhm. Now, I know that you're when I was doing research on you for a little bit, I found out that you were pretty short. So so how does your height kind of play into you performing?
Or
You
is it a
know,
factor? Is it even a
Yeah,
factor?
is
I
it even
mean,
a
like,
factor? Yeah.
it is. It is in
it
some
is?
sense because that is like a fetish. It's a fetish
Oh.
to have me look like as small as possible and then work with somebody who's like six something.
I didn't think about it that way.
Actually. Huh?
Yeah, I said I hadn't even thought about it that way. You're right. Yeah, that can be a fetish.
Yeah, apparently it is. If you can think it, there's a fetish for it somewhere out there. I don't know. The guys that I've worked with, they have been able to like handle
Your
my
shoulder?
height somehow, some way.
Uh,
And I'm very grateful for that because I do like tall guys.
okay. Now
Well, there you go.
there was this one video I remember that you did. I believe you did it independently, and it was I don't remember what your scene partner's name was, but she was another pretty well known adult actress, and she was also really tall. And what you had to do was you had to stand on the stairs in order to do the scene.
Oh, it was Eliza Barr, I think.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what.
she's really tall. I know. So I had to be like higher up the stairs just to like match with her somehow.
Yeah.
That was interesting. But you just make it work somehow.
Yeah, you got to do what you got
Now,
to do.
do you have a preference between working with men or women, or is it just like all the same for you?
It's all the same for me. In real life, I do prefer, I lean more towards women. Like I'm more attracted to women more than men. But that's only because ever since I was young, I've always appreciated women's beauty. And it wasn't until I was like in my adolescent years that I was just like, you know what? I'm actually attracted to this girl. I just don't think it's not just because I find her cute. It's also because I really like her.
That's very
All
romantic.
right.
Yeah, so that kind of like leaned into my one of my next question was is there like a fetish that you would say absolutely no to?
Anything that has to do, there's a couple actually. Anything that has to do with like age play, race play, something that's kind of like rapey.
Hmm.
I mean, that's all I can really think of right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or I mean, something that has to do with diapers. That was the kind of things I get requested.
I think I know what you meant by that, by things that require diapers.
Yeah, I mean, there are some, but
You know how there are
no.
some fetishes where they like urination and defecation, like there's things like that too. So it's just like,
I
yeah.
mean, even if I get paid to do those, I'm just like, no, thank you, I'm good. Or getting tied up, I'm like, no, I'm sorry. The whole BDSM thing, I'm just like, no, I'm sorry. I know I'm a little bit more dominant, like I can be a little bit more aggressive, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I have to whip you, although that's fun, you know. That can be fun for me too, but it doesn't necessarily have to go that far.
Mhm.
So yeah, those are just a few that I can think of
All
on top
right.
of my head right now.
All right. So like also like when you're on set, what like precautions do you take in order to like stay safe to make sure people don't get too overly friendly with you after the scene's done?
Well, I always ask what are their likes and dislikes.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes them also question what are mine.
Mm-hmm.
And for certain companies now we have like a whole checklist that either we agree or disagree to. And if we agree to a certain act, we have to specify, oh, how light is it going to be? Which areas are you okay with this being done to you?
Mm-hmm.
So before we even start,
Mm-hmm.
I just ask who my scene partner, what are they cool with and what are they not
Yeah.
okay with?
Is it like
Especially,
That's
you
great.
know,
Yes?
especially if we're new working together, like I want to know what really gets you off.
Okay.
I want to get you off. I want you to feel good too.
Mm-hmm.
We're working for the camera, but I also want it to look like you're authentically feeling good
Mm-hmm.
because it always looks so much better that way too on
Mhm.
camera. So yeah, that's how.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah. The real stuff is always better.
okay.
Yeah, I would think that's what you like.
Yeah. So like, what is like the oddest thing that was ever recommended to you? Like from a fan, like a fan custom or something like that.
I'm trying to think because there are several. I mean, there are others who've given me like long scripts, and I'm just like, dude, I don't have time for like a long script with these specifications. I forgot exactly what the specifications were, but yeah, urination was definitely one of them. But they wanted me to do it in public, and I was just like, one, I don't know where you're going to use this, and I don't want to take the chance. Two, it's going to be out in public, so I'm going to be risking that. And three, it's going to be filmed in public. I like public stuff, but not when it comes to something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure there's another one, or there are others that I've had some requests, but that is the one that's popping up right now,
Okay.
especially since it was mentioned earlier.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah, I've had those kinds of requests.
yeah. So like, what was like the oddest fan moment that you ever had? Like with an encounter with a fan.
Like in real life or just like in general?
Let's do it like in general.
The oddest encounter? Um, I can't think of one because when a fan meets me or like finds me online, they're just like either freaking out, they're quiet, or they're polite,
Hmm.
or sometimes they're not even a fan, they're just demanding people.
Oh.
Very demanding people. Yeah,
Yeah.
but there was one. He wasn't a fan, but he was one of the guys who was in this adult convention called
Mhm.
Exotica. And when I was on my way to my booth, this random guy just like he blocked my my way, and he was just like, "Hey, it's my birthday today." He grabbed my hand and just put it on his dick, and I was just like, I know I'm a porn star, but this is so not cool. So just gonna walk away.
Oh
Happy
snap.
birthday."
Yeah, see, and that's
That was
exactly
a little
why,
too.
like, I was gonna ask if there's ever people who want to disrespect you just because they know the line of work that you're in and they think that it's valid, but it's totally not ever
I mean,
valid to do that.
I have gotten some comments online. It's inevitable, no matter what you do. Um, but in real life, that was like, what are you doing? Like,
Hmm.
Yeah.
what? You just see a random hot girl walking through this adult convention. I don't think he even knew who I was, but he just did
That's
it.
even worse. That's even
Yeah,
worse.
yeah,
It's like,
he
how many
just,
other women has he done that to? And what else does he think he can just sit there and do? Like, so
exactly.
ugly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was not cool.
Right. Just because like you're in a adult convention doesn't give you the right to just do whatever you want to whoever you want.
Yeah, and the thing is, we weren't even allowed to be like naked
Right.
in the adult convention or half naked. So I mean, that's the first clue that you shouldn't be doing anything inappropriate.
Right. So like how is it like in these conventions? Like what precautions are taken? How's the environment like?
Usually, it's pretty chill. Or as far as the other than that incident, it's usually pretty chill. It's
Right.
very casual. Um, Even AVN is very casual. It's just very crowded. Um, but It's really cool. You get to the first year that I went to AVN, I didn't even think some people knew my work because I was so new. But yeah, it was great.
Mhm.
It was very heartwarming.
So like what like if somebody comes up to you and says like, "Hey, so what do you do for work? What do you do for a living?" What do you usually say?
To just a civilian or in general?
Yeah, just some guy.
I usually just say that I'm in the film industry.
Oh, snap.
I
It's
mean,
up to
it's
them if they
true.
ask. It's up to them if they ask anymore, like what kind of films. But
Yeah.
normally they're just like, oh, okay, cool.
I mean,
So you're
she's
an
not
actor.
lying. She is in the film industry.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's totally right.
Yeah, and I believe you also you studied film, is that right?
A little bit. I was more on the acting and modeling
Hmm.
schools. So, not like it's not like I was in college and I took some film classes. I did very like one at least. And that's kind of what like piqued my interest. And then I went to acting school and decided, okay, let's give this a shot and see what it's like. Oh
Hmm.
shit, it's really fun. It's more fun than these nursing courses that I'm taking.
Hmm.
So that's where I kind
Yeah.
of made the switch.
Yeah. So
More
like,
power to you.
hmm so like, what made you decide to join the adult industry, the adult film industry?
I
She just
was
said it was so much fun. It was
Oh.
fun to
Yeah.
her.
Well, the thing is, I was going into auditions and I was just like, you know what? I don't want to be that nervous actress anymore. And at the time, I also lost my virginity and I was just like, oh my God, this is actually so much fun. What else is out there?
Hmm.
So why don't I just make my own films? Hopefully produce like a mainstream film when I make and but for now, just keep doing what I'm doing and make the best of what's in the adult
Yeah,
industry.
because
So that
a lot of big time actors, now started out that way too. There's a few.
Oh yeah, Sylvester
I know
Stallone
like
started off like that. Have you guys ever watched the Italian Stallion?
oh, I
no,
have not, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, that was I believe that was like a porn that Sylvester Stallone was in before he got into Rocky. Uh,
Oh yeah. Oh, now I remember. Okay, I didn't watch it, but now I'm just like, oh, I've seen a little bit of it.
yeah.
yeah.
So
Oh man,
like
that's awesome.
yeah, so like okay, so like when you're doing scenes and stuff, like with a crew and a director and everything, do they like give you a script or do they are they like hey, you just ad lib?
It depends. It depends on the company. Most of the time they most of the time it's just ad lib.
Hmm.
But there are certain companies who do give us a script, or others who give us like a synopsis, and then
Right.
it's up to us to like come up with the words.
Hmm.
Improvise.
Yeah, like this is your situation. This is what your character is like. Now, go ahead.
How,
So
how
yeah,
do
it depends.
you audition for these type of roles? I mean, it's like the same in the acting industry where it's, the non-adult acting industry where, you do like a self-tape or something like that. How do you normally audition for these types of
I
films?
mean, I think the ones who actually do auditions are like the parodied ones by Axel Braun. He's the one who does auditions and also asks for some tapes sometimes.
Hmm.
But for others, it's just like either you get the role or you don't.
Right.
So
Yes, but
do they just judge you off of like your headshots that you send in or your previous work
no,
to
it's
tell
not
you
like
yes
that.
or no?
I don't. I
Mm,
honestly don't know how they choose it. It's
okay.
usually like the producers who choose. Oh, this is who we want for this project. But I don't know exactly like why they chose that. Most
Mm,
likely, maybe because of their following
mm,
Hmm.
and how popular they are on their sites.
Okay.
Or yeah, I think those are the main factors, and not because of your ability.
Right.
Okay.
Or
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's not like
So you
in
have
Hollywood.
yeah, do you guys have like agents too that help you all get auditions and stuff like that?
Yeah, we do have agents. There are others who just prefer to self-book. I personally do have an agent because at least they get to like weed out who's legit and who's not.
mm,
Hmm.
Yeah.
how do you know
So,
that? How do you know if somebody's not legit?
they haven't been working at all in
Mm,
the industry. Um, and they may not have a huge following, or they have not been working with anyone.
mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's what I would be looking for. Who have you worked with? How long have you been working with um, everything for your company? And because I need some references, like I need to know who I can go to and ask, like, how is this person like?
Mm-hmm.
What's
Hmm.
the scene like? What did they do at the camera work?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And do they have a website that I can also refer to so that I can prepare myself, like, oh, okay, so this is what they may do.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
so if they don't, then it's like, okay, why are we doing this?
Right.
It's
Like,
like you're sus.
yeah.
Sus.
I remember like
Yeah, you have to have some kind of establishment.
right, like I've seen like on other like adult actresses' Twitter accounts. I'm like, oh, I'm going to this city. I would love to know who established talents would like to work with me, and they highlight that
Hmm.
those two words very heavily: established talent. So
Yeah, because we always get fans saying, "Oh, I'm available."
yeah,
That's
okay,
the most common thing, and I'm just like, "I'm sorry, darling, but are you actually a performer?"
yeah, man. It's
Yeah.
I'm sure like there's a lot that goes on. It's not like you just do like okay, here, go do the thing. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a lot more that goes into it, and I know that.
Oh, a lot more. Especially as a guy, there's a
Mm,
lot more.
oh yeah, because you have to like get erected on demand. Also, you have to ejaculate on command. Uh,
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
And you guys basically carry the scene for us. You're the ones supporting us and like maneuvering us into certain positions and maneuvering us into those positions facing the camera
mm-hmm,
so that we would look good because
mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know most people who watch porn are guys and they want to see the girl.
right.
So the main focus is the girl, but I feel like not many people credit the male talents in the business because they do so much work. And there is no way in faking anything with when
Mm-hmm,
it comes to guys.
right.
With us women, we can just like look pretty and moan.
So here's a shout out to you, male porn stars. You're the unsung hero. You're the real MVP.
Yes, kudos to like all the male performers. Thank you for all your hard
Yeah.
work.
So like going back to like the auditions thing, I remember when I was in graduate school, I was told this story by one of my professors about an alumnus of the university that I went to, and apparently he wrote this feature length script that he just got out of school with. He graduated with this feature length script, and he wanted to produce it, and he wanted the person that he wanted to play the lead was Ron Jeremy. And
Interesting.
yeah, and he's like, it has to be Ron Jeremy. It can't be anyone else. It has to be him. So he had this really big mindset to get Ron Jeremy cast for the part. So he was able to get his agent, Ron Jeremy's agent, and he was like, "Hey, I got this project that I would love your client to do." And the agent was like, "He'll do it. He'll do it." And then the guy was like, "Do you want to like read the script first?" He's like, "Nah, nah. He'll do whatever." As long as you pay him this amount, put him in this hotel, he'll do it. And then that's that. And that's how. And then I don't know what happened to that film. I don't know if it ever got made or anything. But I mean,
Wow.
that's the story of
Yeah,
that.
I would actually want to look at the script first or see how the character is being portrayed before I actually accept anything, like any offers. Even when it comes to like documentaries, I'm just like, okay, is there any way for them to like spin this and make the porn industry look like it's a bad thing, or is it going to be like, oh, we want to know the truth about the porn industry and
Right.
we're here to get that truth from you? So yeah, I ask a lot of questions beforehand.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good that
That's
you do that.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that you are actually you recently produced a pilot, a comedy pilot about the porn industry. Is that right?
In a way, yes, it was called The Rep.
The what?
The Rep. It
Oh,
was
okay.
basically it centers on this porn agents. There are some truths to it, and there are some that's like exaggerated. Of course, they make it a lot more entertaining. But yeah, that was a lot of fun to like film.
Mm-hmm.
Is that somewhere available for people to watch now?
No.
I think because
If
she's
there
Oh.
is, I mean, I also have my own producers and directors for that. I was one of the producers. I can reach out to some of the producers and ask them if there is. Um, but it actually won this festival recently.
it was the New York one, right? It
I
was New
can
York
give you all
comedy.
the information about that, but it won best comedy. But why am I like blanking out on which one it is?
It was it was
Bottom line,
new.
I'm gonna give it to you. Maybe you can check it out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was New York, right? The New York Film Festival.
Oh yeah, it was in the New York one, but I Cinekink.
Yeah, okay,
Cinekink. Yes,
Cinecink,
thank
that's what we
you.
got.
Thank
We
you.
got
Yes.
it.
It was called Cinekink. It won best comedy for Cinekink. It was so
Yeah.
So
fucking
it's currently in the film festival circuit then. That's
yeah,
why
yeah.
it's not out yet. Okay,
Yeah, and you're
awesome.
trying to get into you get it to series, right?
Sorry.
You're trying to get it to series, like make an entire series of it.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Uh,
We'll see. I want to. I mean, but it costs a lot to
mm,
make. So,
yeah.
Mm.
I'm sure.
yeah, I'm the executive producer for that. So,
Mm, I'm sure. I'm sure Stars would be able to do it because they're doing the Deuce, which is also about the porn industry. So maybe they'll be
uh-huh.
more open to it. Netflix,
Mm.
they'll greenlight anything. Um,
Do
and
you guys know Arliss?
I don't believe so. I'm
It's
not
about
familiar
a
with that.
sports agent.
Yeah.
No,
It was
I
kind
haven't
of based
seen it.
off of that, but we turned Arliss into a porn agent.
Orange. Okay.
Yeah,
That's so
exactly.
great.
Instead of a sports agent, it's a porn agent.
Oh, okay, I get it. I love it.
I'd be
Yeah. Yeah.
interested to see that. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I would love to see
It
it, and
sounds
hopefully it gets on
like
TV.
it's doing good so far. So yeah,
Hmm.
I mean,
Okay.
keep up the good
Thank
work.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Again, it was a blast. And that's one of the reasons why I was willing to gamble that much. It was just because it was so much fun to make some art.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure. We
So,
love making movies over here, don't we, Nate?
oh yeah, we just we have that documentary that's in the film
Yeah.
festival circuit
I
right
think
now.
the mhm. Yeah.
So
I was
really,
gonna say I think the common ground between the Hollywood and the adult industry is that it costs a lot of money. Period. You know, like it's always gonna be you're gonna have to dish out some money to get it
It
done.
always does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my question, the question that I had was how do you feel when like you hear people saying or when it comes up, the topic comes up where people will say that sex work is not valid work. How do you feel about that?
I just laugh at it and think, you don't know what you're talking about. You
Pretty
can
much.
have that opinion, but unless you're actually in our shoes and know what it's really like, then you don't know what you're talking about.
right?
There is
Mhm.
actually a lot of work to be done. I know it just looks like we're having an orgasm on screen, period. But I feel like as an adult performer nowadays, we have so much more to do. It wasn't just like back in the day where you get booked for something, you're a contract star, and you become huge or you don't make it. And back then, there was just a very small roster in the adult industry, and there wasn't like these fetishes that there are now. And now I feel like we don't just have to perform, we also have to produce. Sometimes we have to direct because now we have to make our own content and post it in these different revenues. It's good to have all these revenues that are out there now, but back then you're paid X amount of money
Mhm.
and now you're a legend.
Right.
To say
Mhm.
you're a legend because you're considered like a star back in the day.
Mhm.
Now you're lucky if people have heard of you.
Yeah.
Because now
Yeah, so
it's
it's
so overly saturated
yeah, it's
and
very competitive.
it's very competitive. And sometimes, not there are some even cam bros who are more famous than some of us who work in the adult films because they already have so many, like so much fan base. So yeah, it's not just us fucking in front of the camera.
Right.
Pardon my
Yes.
French. There's just so much work.
Yeah.
And being a producer especially, it's a lot more.
Right.
It's a lot
Yeah,
more.
and you're
We're just
right.
performing.
Yeah, you're totally right when you say those people, mainly those people who say things like that, they don't know the ins and out of the industry, and they're, going off of their old conservative beliefs that have been, passed down through generation to generation. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how women in the sex industry are viewed, and that brings me to my next segment, which I wanted to call it the Moxie segment. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, but I love it and I just want everybody to watch it. It's on Netflix right now. But
Moxie.
um yeah, Moxie. So Moxie Girls Unite, and this segment I basically just wanted to touch on how women really aren't so free to be themselves. Like, say, for instance, the whole Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion thing, they were getting so much backlash because they had a performance on live TV. It was the Grammys, it was a Grammy ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
and simply because they insinuated an act where they were like scissoring or doing something sexual in their performance, in their dance performance,
Mm-hmm.
so many people were outraged. And there were mainly two points of views. So, for instance, like, the main one that I would see is where people were saying, "Oh, my kids can't read Dr. Seuss books, but they can view this, on TV." And it's like, no, 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 like, they're not supposed to be viewing that on TV. First of all, you have control of that. You're the parent. This TV
Mm-hmm.
show does not say that it's, geared towards a kid audience. Like, it's rated for you to
Yeah.
know that. And the
Yeah.
Dr. Seuss books are made for children. And why would you want your child reading something that, is based off of racist things and, teaching them something wrong,
Mm-hmm.
basically? Like, they can't see the difference in that. And so that was kind of like what they were saying about the whole, like, um parenting thing. They were just saying that this shouldn't be displayed on TV where kids can watch it. And it's like, okay, that you're worried about this, but yet so many freaking politicians can be on live TV lying, like, on news channels everywhere that children do watch with their parents, and they're just like lying, like straight out lying, but you're okay with that and nobody ever says anything about that. Second, yeah, the second thing that bothered me is that, because it's one thing for men to think like this, but it really, really bothered me and made me sick when I saw women upholding the patriarchy and their, like, conformative ladylike standards, where it's like, oh, you're not, women are not supposed to be acting like that. And it's like, who who are you to say how women should act? Everybody should feel free to be themselves. And I know, like, there's like this whole standard where where women should do this and not do this, and they should be like this and not be like that. But it's like you can't do that. You can't sit there. I mean, like, how would you feel if we said, oh, men can't be, men can't be acting like this, or men should be acting like this, because they get to really act however they want without consequences. I mean, there's men out there that think it's okay to go up to a girl and grab her hand and put her hand on his dick, just like you said. Like, that's not okay. I mean, there's like a difference, and it's really frustrating to me that people can't tell that difference. And I know
by now people would have learned.
right.
But
So yeah, I want to say, like, women, we need to do better for other women. Like, we definitely need to stick together, because it really reminds me of that song, like, This Is a Man's World, because it really has been that way since, like, the dawn of time. Men have always had the upper hand, and men have always been the ones that get to be in charge over everything. And for the longest time, women couldn't even vote, women couldn't even have an opinion, women couldn't even dress a certain way. And it's just not okay that there's so many conformative standards that we have to meet, but yet they get to do whatever the fuck they want. And
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I know it seems like it's the men who's always been in power, but I feel like women have always had the power. They just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Because the men back then were just like oppressing the woman, saying, you can't do this, you can't do that, I have power over you. But if they would have realized that the men actually depended on them more than they thought, then they would have known that they actually had more power than the men.
Yep.
So, I mean, again, the difference is women have always had the power. They just
don't know how to use it. They don't know how to use it, right?
Yeah, and there's some women who don't. So, I mean, that's how I feel about that. I'm not.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said that, because, like, it takes, if it's more women coming together and not bashing each other just because you don't like the way that she carries herself, doesn't mean that you get to disrespect her. Like, just it may not be your thing, but it's her thing, and you still don't disrespect her because she's a woman just like you are. And that includes everyone in between. Like, that includes trans women, that includes women, period. I know that I didn't know about this until my husband told me about it the other day, but he was telling me how Candace Owens was trying to come for Cardi B. And I feel like Cardi B, first of all, a lot of people like to come for her just because the way she came up, the way she was brought into fame, because she was a stripper before, she rose to fame, and before she started rapping and things like that. And so a lot of people like to bring that up to try to make her feel bad or to try to put her down. Because, like I said, a lot of people don't consider sex work to be valid work. And it really, like, frustrates me, because it's like, why are you going to blame these women who are in this industry, getting their bag, making their money, but you don't want to blame the capitalistic environment that normalized sex sells? Like, how is it our fault that men or whoever is willing to buy into this industry when you were the ones who normalized sex sells to begin with?
It's actually
so, like,
right,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's frustrating.
Yeah, like,
but I know, like, they like to come for her because of that, because of her stripper background, and it's just like, y'all leave her alone, please. Like, she's not here to raise your kids. And I know Candace was saying, let's be honest, Cardi, neither you or I would want our daughters growing up to be anything like you. And I was like, why would she say that? Why would I not want my daughter to feel free to express herself in any way or shape or form, especially if my daughter has the opportunity to perform on the Grammys? Like, that's an achievement. Like, that's a great success story, especially her coming from where she came from, and now she's on the Grammys. Like, why wouldn't I want my daughter to be successful? Is that what you're saying to me? Like it doesn't make
Mhm.
any sense.
Also,
Yeah.
I believe Channing Tatum was a stripper as well.
Yeah,
Hmm?
and who says anything about him? Oh no, he's America's sweetheart now, right?
Right.
Like,
He's respected now because he's actually a very
yeah,
talented actor.
Hmm?
But I mean, if you just look past all of that, it's, at the end of the day, people are just people.
Yeah, and I know that
right,
Cardi B is also really good at acting herself, right? Because she was in Hustlers, and that she did a really good job
right,
there.
yeah. Yeah, she's a good actor. She's a good singer, rapper. Like she has so much going on for her. And, I just wish that more people, especially women,
Yeah.
would back each other up. Like we just need to back each other up. Like she's not here to raise your children for you. Like so many parents want to think that, like just because she's doing something that she wants to do that she needs to be careful because there's children watching, but it's
Hmm.
like she's not
I'm,
catering to children. Her
I'm
music is not catered towards children.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I know there are some women who are just like, we should like hold each other up, support each other no matter what. But at the end of the day, there are always going to be those women who are going to be catty and jealous, envious of other women's successes. And they just can't accept that they've made it through
Yeah.
and they're over here. So instead of being happy with them and then actually cheering them on, they're just like, "Oh, I hate you because you actually made it to the top and I'm just down here." They would
Yep.
probably never admit to those feelings and they may subconsciously just, project that hate and not being supportive of other women who have made it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I,
No,
again,
totally.
it's one of those inevitable things that's in this world right now. I mean, we can
To
try.
all those to all those women, I say you need more moxie in your life. So
I need to check this out.
Did
I
you
love moxie
did you stamp that on your arm?
on my hand.
Those are stamps.
No, I drew it.
Oh,
So
you
if
drew
you
it.
watch the movie, it makes sense. They basically start like a feminist movement inside the school where they like show support to each other by drawing stars and hearts
Oh,
on their
okay.
hands.
Who's in
And
it?
um,
Do you remember who's in it?
well, I know who's in it, but like I don't think they're big yet, big names. So for me to like tell you and you to know who it is,
Oh,
it's no
okay.
one big. There's not a A-list actor in there, I don't think. They're more up and coming, like new faces. They're actually like a bunch of new faces. But oh, you know
Hmm.
who's in it? Amy Poehler. She's the mom.
Oh.
Okay.
She's the mom. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Moxie.
yeah,
Netflix.
she's one of the recognizable actors that are on there. But it's a great movie. It's a really good
Yeah.
movie.
All right. So
It's even better once you see the guys that start drawing the hearts and the stars on their hands.
okay.
Okay, if she's that excited, I need to really watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
so speaking of good movies, let's talk about the Oscar nominations. Hooray.
Yes, there's so many ones. There's like this Oscar year like has been so crazy. Like these past 2 years where like people have been having to shoot and film while there's a pandemic going on, and they've like gotten out of their box, I think, and more people have been a little bit more creative with
Oh
their
my god, kudos to you
movies.
guys too. Kudos to you for
Yeah,
taking the risks.
Yeah.
yeah,
We
Well,
raise
all
our
the actors, directors, producers, and the crew.
Yep.
yes,
Kudos.
Round of
Thank you
for
for
applause.
keeping the
sure.
movie industry
Round of applause.
going.
Yay, round of applause. So like the first one that I would like to talk about would be the David Fincher film Mank, starring Gary Oldman and Amanda Seyfried, who I've always been a fan of. I always love Amanda Seyfried. I watched her in Les Miserables, and what else was she in?
Have
Um,
you seen her in Big Love?
oh, I don't think I have.
Yeah,
Was that
she was
good?
like one of the daughters in Big Love. I think that was one of her, when she was new, because
Huh?
she was still young. And also, she was in Mean Girls.
Mean
Yeah.
Girls.
Mean
Two of
Girls.
my favorite. Two of my favorite movies from her is one of them is Mean Girls, but the other one is Chloe, where her and Julianne Moore have like a really sexual relationship.
Don't tell me. I've always wanted to watch it. I know about it, but I'm
It's
just
so
like,
good.
I'm still
It's so
holding
good.
off. Yeah, I want to, because
It's really
she's
good.
a manipulative one in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, so,
She
Okay.
gave a stellar performance.
Mhm. So we have David Fincher back at it again with his film Mank, which is about Mankiewicz, who was the guy who wrote the rough draft of Citizen Kane for Orson Welles, and Citizen Kane is for the longest time was considered to be the greatest film ever made. And it was up until the 1970s when The Godfather kind of took over that role as the greatest film ever made. So it was like a huge deal. So it's really about this guy's thought process and how he came to conceive of the idea of Citizen Kane. And the way the film depicted it was that Orson Welles just called Mankiewicz up and was like, "Hey, Mankiewicz, make a script for me." And then he was like, "Okay, I'll do that." And I'm also an alcoholic, so he kind of just did that. And I believe he also broke two of his legs, so he was in a wheelchair for a good chunk of the movie. And he basically based on what the film was about. He basically based the entire structure of Citizen Kane on a real life political race between the Democratic Sinclair Sinclair I believe was also the guy. He left. It was also the guy. It was also the guy who wrote The Jungle. Oh, there she's back. Who wrote The Jungle, which was a huge film, which was a huge book about the meat industry and it basically kind of like made all these new labor laws and everything. And a lot of people viewed Sinclair as like, he's a raving commie. But even though, he kind of wasn't, it's just that Republican thing. And so he ran against that, and Mankiewicz was in the more like, this was back like when Hollywood was way more Republican. So he was like a secret Democrat or a secret socialist in his words. And so he basically watched Sinclair basically lose to the Republican incumbent, and he felt very crushed about it, and he felt very disillusioned about the political system. So he basically based the entire script of Citizen Kane on that. And also, I believe like he also said that he agreed that he would go uncredited, but after he finished Citizen Kane, like the script, he realized that this was like a huge deal. So he asked Orson Welles if he could get credit, and Orson Welles was like, "I don't know. I don't know." So then it basically became
the way he said it in the movie.
I don't remember. I don't really remember.
In the movie, he was upset.
He was
like, he freaking like threw the typewriter at the freaking wall.
Yeah, he was not happy.
Yeah.
Also, like,
he was not happy.
Yeah.
He's generalizing it right now. We leave the dramatic stuff for the people who have not seen Mank.
So yeah, and also at the same time,
let's just say he was upset.
Oh, he was really mad.
He was very upset.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Orson Welles, at the time, I believe he was 21. So he was like really new into the film industry. But I believe he made like another film before that, but I'm not 100% sure. And then after that, he was given like a blank check to make Citizen Kane. So he was like really, really young. So so that's what basically Mank was about, and it was really, really good. It was this really good structure between like past, present, that kind of thing. Basically reflecting about how the story of Citizen Kane was inspired by these certain events, and we also have this. It was filmed in grayscale, and I believe it was also filmed in 4:3, who was supposed to mimic the old style of filmmaking back then, of classic Hollywood, and it was really really good. And the performances that Gary Oldman did was great. Amanda Seyfried was great, and I believe both of them were nominated for Oscars for their performances this year as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, like
Gary
that's how it was.
Gary Oldman was like he was really good. Like I
Yeah.
really appreciated his work in this movie.
Hmm. And I
And I loved how even though he was like a drunk and he would ramble on, and he would like ruin parties and things like that because of his alcohol. I really like that they also mentioned how good of a person he was. Like
Yeah.
whenever they mentioned him saving that whole village from the Nazis, like he paid for a whole village to be brought over
oh
so that they
yeah,
could escape, Germany.
yeah. And one of the people that he brought over was like a person that was helping him out there. And
Yeah.
also, so I also really like the costumes. The costumes were really good. The production design was great. And
Yeah, it was so sad to hear that, I think, that he died, at a young age because of his alcohol
did he
addiction.
did he kill himself, or
Yeah.
did he die of alcohol
No,
poisoning?
he got cirrhosis, I think it
Oh,
was, or
cirrhosis.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll come out. That'll be because of alcohol. So, like, we've seen this film multiple times before with the alcoholic creative, that kind of thing. So, what makes this film different than of the other ones?
The
Well, first of
fact
all,
they're actually go ahead.
I was gonna say, first of all, it's like in black and white the whole time. Like they made it that way because that's the time that they're in, right? Where they
Right.
were only making black and white film
Yeah.
at that time.
Everyone knows that the world was black and white back then, so that's why it was
Yeah.
black and white.
So that was different, from any other movies that portray alcoholism. But that was like the main difference for me, where I saw is that they actually go deep into his character, so that you see that he is disturbed and he's upset about a lot of things that are wrong in the world,
Hmm.
and it's an explanation for why he chose, to be an alcoholic. Because I know I have my moments where I'm holding on to my sanity, and like people who have something to fall back on, an addiction, that's very common. that's
Hmm.
that's why it happened. People, that don't understand, and they just see it portrayed one way, they're just like an alcoholic, and we don't care, to show the story behind why he's like that or
Yeah.
anything like that. So I really like that.
Yeah. So, Ember, what were you gonna say?
She brought up the good points already.
Okay.
She already said them.
So
Well, you
yeah.
can say I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
I agree. Oh, but I mean, the fact that he was the writer for something that's so controversial at the time, that was pretty ballsy for both him and Orson Welles. Because after that, it's just like, well, what else? How else can you gain back the respect of these people?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was I mean, most people probably wouldn't have even dared to go in that direction, but they did.
You're right.
And he won an Oscar for it. Like they won. He
Yeah,
literally got his Oscar for it. So that's even like that's,
I mean,
Yeah.
Citizen Kane is definitely one of the classics. It's beautiful. The cinematography is fucking beautiful. I mean, even just that opening shot and the last shots are just like chilling.
Yeah. Like I know that.
When you understand the journey
Yeah.
of this character, just like, wow.
Yeah. And I know that a lot of film scholars say that Citizen Kane is basically an entire film school in one feature length film. So
Mhm.
that's how highly regarded it is. And so, uh, yeah, like I
yeah. I
know.
really like that. This story also was like showing the point of view of behind the cameras, like everything that goes on behind the cameras. Normally, you see a movie just, from, the actor's point of view and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this was like great to see like everything, all the work that gets put in like behind the scenes.
Yeah. Okay, so like
Yeah.
another thing about like this film is that it was nominated for an Oscar, and everyone knows that the Academy has the biggest egos, and they love seeing films about films because they watch it and they're like, "That's what we do." so, so then they're like, nominate it. So yeah, and but that doesn't take away that it was a really good movie. So
It was really
yeah,
Was.
and then also about like alcoholism. There was this other film that I was just watching earlier today called Another Round, and it was nominated for Best Foreign Film. It was made in Denmark and it was starring Mads Mikkelsen, and I am mad about Mads, so I watched it. And so it's basically about like these a group of four high school teachers who do this experiment about if you keep your blood alcohol level at 0.05%, your life will basically improve. So the idea was is that they would just be constantly be drinking throughout the entire day and see how that affects the life around them. So and then they just kept on increasing from 0.05 to just 0.06 to 0.1, and then it just kept on going up and up and up until they basically became alcoholics, and their entire life just basically gets torn in shambles. So that's a very interesting take on alcoholism that I would recommend people watch. It's on Hulu. It's on Hulu.
They didn't think that one through, did they?
Mm.
So tell us, you can watch Mank. You guys can watch Mank for those of you who haven't on Netflix.
Yeah, and Citizen Kane is on HBO
Available
Max.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
Try to watch it before the Oscars.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to. Or
Definitely.
maybe just watch
Try.
the Oscars and be like, oh shit, Gary Oldman actually won. Let's see why.
Yeah. Exactly. So
Um,
Ruby, what's yours?
so
But-
I was.
If you have not seen Citizen Kane and know the story behind Citizen Kane, I suggest you guys watch that first.
Yeah.
And then watch Mank.
Yeah.
Actually, there's another movie that was more about Orson Welles and his friendship with Mank.
Ooh.
I am blanking out on the name though.
Okay. It'll come back. It'll come back to us. So you can watch Citizen Kane on HBO Max. So you can watch it there. All right, so
Yeah, but watch, guys, if you're seeing this, watch Citizen Kane first so you have a background already, and then watch Mank.
yes, exactly. All right, so Ruby, what you got?
So I wanted to talk about Minari, which has been nominated for, I think, like 6 different things. Let me see. So they got it's Stephen. How do you say his last name? Ewan. I think
Ewan?
that's right.
Okay.
But he's one of the very first Asian Americans to be nominated, so that's amazing. That's awesome. Best Supporting Actress as well, Best Original Score, Best Director, and Best Original Screenplay. So the reason why I chose this movie is because it's essentially a family. Like it's a film about a family, about an Asian American family, just basically trying to make it, in life. It is based in the 80s as well. That's the time, the period that the movie was made in. It was shot mostly in Oklahoma, and I didn't even know that. You can even tell. Yeah. But they are in the movie. It's supposed to be Nebraska, where they. I think it was Nebraska. It was Nebraska or Arkansas, one of those two.
Mm.
But it's a heavily populated place that has mainly white Americans, and so the movie is about their family trying to make it, and they had just moved from California, I think, and the dad has this like whole dream of having a farm that's going to feed his kids and his
Oh,
wife, and he's going to be able to take care of them, and he just wants to like do it on his own. He wants to provide for all of them, and at the same time you see trials that their marriage has, their trials that the kids have, and it's just so beautiful. The story is so beautiful, and I resonated with it, very heavily because I'm a family person. I'm a mom of, five myself, so it really hit me, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful, like all around story, because it also includes the mother's mom, the grandma, and the cultural differences that Asian Americans have with, white Americans. Um, there's a character on there that I feel like they added for comedic relief, but
mm-hmm.
it really speaks to how some people were like at that time when it came to religion and stuff like that. And these Asian Americans are looking at them like, you're crazy, like what is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
But it is a story about perseverance, about the family being the most important thing, among other things. And it was very, very heartfelt.
Oh
So
my God,
definitely,
I'm probably gonna cry if I watch this
I
movie.
did cry. I cried a little bit.
Oh my
I cried a
God,
little
because
bit.
yeah, when
I cried a little
with
bit.
my family too, it's like it's all about family. We
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
stay together no matter what.
Right.
yeah.
So, what do you think this film says?
That's what it sounds like. Are they like middle class, lower class?
They are lower class. They're lower
Oh,
class.
okay. Yeah, I'm
So,
probably gonna cry. Thank you very much, Ruby.
they struggle. So I know it's really sad to see, but at the same time, for
Oh
everyone who watches it, it makes them, empathize, more with, not only lower class but immigrants who come over here, trying to just provide for their family. That's all that they're trying to do.
yeah, the
Um,
minorities are also trying to make
right,
it, period. And
exactly,
being a minority is even harder as
right.
it is already.
Mm-hmm.
hmm And it was Arkansas. Sorry, so I said Kansas, but it was Arkansas. It was set in Arkansas,
Okay.
but
Okay.
filmed in
Well, yeah, that may
Oklahoma.
have been even harder back then.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so it's an American story. Not it's an Asian American family, but it's an American story because that's the American dream. That people come
Yeah.
over here pursuing, wanting to start their own business and things like that, and
Yeah.
they were specifically going to grow um, vegetables and things like that of their culture because they were like, nobody here has these kinds of fruits and vegetables, because they don't know about them. They don't normally grow them here. And so that was like one of the advantages that they thought of. But you see, like the dad, like just there's so much pressure that's put on him, and then how the wife feels kind of like helpless,
Yeah.
because she doesn't fully understand like what he's trying to do, and then at the same time they have a little boy who's like dealing with heart problems and stuff like
Oh
that. So it's just
God.
like it's just
Oh
like
my
so much.
God. That's just
Yeah,
wow. They
It's
really went all out with this one, not just with the minority thing and being the
yeah.
lower class. It's just like there's a lot of struggle with this family.
mm-hmm. It,
So
Wow.
definitely watch Minari if you want to cry. No,
Especially if you're Asian American in a lower class, or
yeah.
minority in a lower class. God,
it
fuck.
it sounds like a
You can
movie.
watch it.
It sounds like
Go
a
ahead.
Where,
movie. It
where
sounds.
can you watch it?
Yeah, where can you watch it, Ruby?
So you can watch it on Amazon Prime, on Vudu, on Google Play, or YouTube. But all of those you'd have to pay $20 to rent it. But it was worth it. Like I rented it right away. I was like, yes, I'm gonna pay
I mean,
$20.
that's lesser than going to the movie theaters. Even though I do miss the movie theaters so bad.
Oh, me too.
Same,
Mostly because
same,
you feel the energy of the other people when they're watching it, or sometimes
same.
when they have some kind of reaction to the movie. It's also entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
You're
remember.
like
I'm
we're in this
the
ride
same way.
together when you're in the movie theater, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
remember the last film that I watched in a movie theater was in Disney Springs in February 18th of last year, and it was Sonic the Hedgehog. So,
Well, I don't even remember what my last one was inside of a theater.
Mine was
I
Wonder Woman.
Wonder
ooh.
Wonder
Woman.
Woman 2. Yeah.
Oh, so that was very recent. It was like last year, like December.
Yeah, that was recent.
You just recently,
Hmm.
yeah. I had to. I was just like, I need to know what's going on. And
I'm glad
it was
they
like
released
extremely
that
on a big
one.
screen.
I'm glad that they released that one virtually because
Yeah.
I had just finished watching a movie and I was on HBO Max and then I
Yeah.
just happened to like see it and it was like at midnight because it dropped like at midnight and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, the second Wonder Woman movie's out and I was like, we're gonna watch it like right now. So we like
Yeah,
watched
exactly.
it like,
Who cares about the time? It's Wonder Woman.
Yeah. I'm not going to be wondering about the time, woman. So yeah, so Minari seems like a movie that you would watch with when you're drinking like wine, like box wine, and you have like mascara just dripping down your face.
Oh God.
Or you could watch it with your family, because like I said, it is like essentially a family movie, a family tale. And I had the
Oh
kids
my.
watching it with me. They loved it.
Okay.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, that Minari is a great film. I think it. I don't know. Is that one gonna win best picture?
I don't know. It's really tough because it was like I said, it was an amazing
Yeah,
story.
it's
It's
either.
really a
I know that Nomadland is considered to be the favorite right now,
Oh yeah, I heard that too.
and
I
I
don't know.
haven't seen it, but I've heard
I have
that's
my reservations on that being a favorite. I mean, it was good, don't get me wrong. Like, it definitely sheds light on, the nomad type of living that some people, are going, that they live, they actually live the nomad life. So I'm glad that they shed some light on that and how they have to go through struggles and stuff like that their own
Mhm.
selves.
but
So
you
yeah,
never know.
it's gonna be a tough choice, tough
Because
decision.
last year the one that won was Parasite.
oh yeah,
Parasite got a
Mhm.
lot of recognition. And I mean, at the time, I didn't watch it. I watched it after it
Me
won,
too.
and yeah, I was just like, okay, I need to know what's the hype. Is this like a horror movie or what is it?
Yeah.
Because it's so Parasites, you
It
know?
was nothing compared to what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah,
Nothing.
yeah,
And I was so like shocked and I was like, okay, that's why it won. Because
yeah,
it was
yeah.
awesome.
yeah.
It
Because it
was
was about
It
class
was
struggles and
very different, actually.
awesome.
And the reason it's called Parasite is because of what the family was doing,
hmm.
essentially. Yeah.
And Parasite was a A24 film as well, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Was it? I'm
Is it
not
A?
sure. I know that.
Because this
Yeah,
Minari is A24.
yeah.
Really? So they're trying to go for it again this year.
Yeah, let's see if they can do go back to back.
Let's see.
So another film that I would also like to discuss would be Promising Young Woman. Have we seen that film?
I have, yes.
All right, Ruby, have you seen it?
I don't think I have, but I heard it was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts with a woman. It opens like with a group of guys in a bar, and then they find this woman who's just like she's done for the night. She's just you can do whatever you want with this woman. She's just like she looks very helpless, and of course, one of the guys took advantage of this opportunity. But so we learned that she actually was not as helpless as we thought she was.
Oh no, the tables have turned.
I want
Yeah,
to see that one.
of course you would want to see this one. I don't think it's really a man's film. I'm sorry, but it's not really a chick flick either. But it definitely sheds light to the women out there who are in the bars. I like how the thing is they chose guys who were like trying to take advantage of this woman. They chose guys who look like they may be the nerdy type, guys
Yeah.
who may have had like lesser experience, not even like the pretty boys, the douchebags, the typical douchebag look. They're just average guys. And it's like it kind of sends a message like even guys like these, if they're given that opportunity, they would jump on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm saying it may not be a guy's film.
Yeah, I know. It could be. Like, I remember
But
when
you
I.
kind of find out to why she does this.
Yeah. It's like they say, not all men, but enough to where we have to kind of like be careful of all men because we just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you don't know. And even when you do know, you think you know, you still don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Situations, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
And I remember.
Yeah, so that's what Promising Young Woman is about. It is definitely interesting. And for those of you women out there who would never think that a guy friend would just make a move on you when given a chance, this movie may change your mind.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I believe.
Where can you watch it?
I think you have to rent it.
You are gonna have to rent it. I think it's on Hulu. Is it on Hulu or Amazon? Let me see.
Yeah. I know that statistically, a woman is most likely to be sexually assaulted by somebody that they know, as opposed to someone they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a
Oh,
testament to that.
you can rent it on Amazon Prime, on Google Play, Hulu, and YouTube, and it's $6. So definitely put that in. And this girl, the actress, is this Carrie Mulligan?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Hey, I love her.
Oh, she was great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch this.
Right. So So Carrie Mulligan turns the tables on them. What does she do to the men that was trying to take advantage of her?
No,
I'm not gonna tell her,
Okay.
but she hasn't watched it yet.
Okay, my fault.
Let her figure it out. So
Yeah.
the people who haven't seen it figure it out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but she done something. I'm not gonna tell you.
Okay.
That's
That'll
the
be a
best part, and
surprise.
we don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you already know a bit of a twist there that she's actually just acting helpless in these bars. And she turns around and says, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing right now?"
Right. And it does like say like it could be anyone. It could be someone that you least expect to do something like that.
Yeah. So I think that will conclude our discussion on Oscar nominations.
Yep.
I can't wait to see the decisions that they make, that the Academy makes. When are the Oscars? Do we have that date?
Yes, I believe it's in April.
Dude.
It was like it would usually be in like early March, but this year was like
April 25th.
April 25th. Yeah.
So we'll tune in to see how the Academy decides.
Yeah.
We have time. Kind of.
We have time to watch all of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we also then also the trial of Chicago 7 is very relevant to today's what's going on today.
Man.
That was another good one that we didn't get to.
That one is close to my heart too.
Mm-hmm.
I love that one.
Yeah, and then we also have The Father, which I know the least about. So I don't really know 100% about that.
The Father? No, I don't know that one either.
Yeah,
I think I saw the trailer for it. Let me see.
Oh, it has Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, it's Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, yeah, I've seen the trailer for it then, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that I know the least about. And I can't find it anywhere. I think it's only available to rent. So.
It's The Father, Anthony Hopkins, and Olivia Colman.
Yeah, I do love Olivia Colman. I watched her in The Favorite. So,
I think it's only in theaters right now.
Is it only in theaters?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's in theaters.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, Ember, you have some things that you would like to promote?
Yes, if you guys are not following me yet, so please follow me on Twitter. It is Ember Snow XXX. And my Instagram is, I have two, just two. One, the main one is Ember number four ever, and then the backup one is X everything Ember X. But a lot of the goodies are going to be on Twitter. I'm doing like just a lot of OnlyFans and many vids. But check out Twitter because sometimes I post like little snippets of teasers and gifs of what I'm up to with
Mm-hmm.
other people. Um, if you want first access to all of these contents, you can go to onlyfans.com/Ember Snow. But if you don't mind waiting, just wait for it to get released on many bits. But the good thing about OnlyFans is I go on there live at least twice a month, and you get all the BTS and all of these first access of either nudes or I'm saying it nudes or all the videos. What
Yeah,
else?
you say it. You get your bag. You secure your bag
You want
and
to see all these?
right.
Thank you for being my cheerleader.
Yay!
Yes,
I'm actually
girl.
this thing because I want to see if I can tour all of these states this year. If not, because of safety reasons and COVID, maybe make it to get delayed. But right now, I'm doing this. I'm hoping I can do a tour, and if you want to host or sponsor this tour, go on Twitter. It should have all the information. It is hashtag Ember Does America. So hopefully I get to see you guys.
Yay!
That's so cute. Yeah, we would love to see you. So definitely hit us up, whenever you're close in town or you're in Texas or anything like that.
Exactly. I've never been to Texas yet.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, never. That's one of the reasons why I want to tour the states to see
Yeah.
what else is out there.
Yeah. Like whenever you're in Dallas, just like hit us up. We'll do a date.
Yes.
Yeah, we also have some announcements for Wacky Talkies.
Hmm?
So I had mentioned on the last episode that we are going to be doing like a little kind of fashion shoot for our merch. So that's still coming up. We are also going to do another giveaway soon. And this time, I know last time we did a giveaway, we partnered with Black businesses, but this time we're going to partner with an Asian business so that we can support them as well. Stop Asian hate, hashtag that for sure. Anti-racism work is on all of us, like always. Another announcement that we have is the fact that Nate and I just started our own little LLC called Actor Correct, just like auto correct. But we're gonna be offering.
I like it.
It's cute, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna offer services to artists who need help with like self tapes, demo reel editing, headshots.
Oh my God, there we go, you guys.
Yeah, everything. So look out for that. We are on Instagram right now, but there's not much on there yet because like we're still building it up. But it is actor ACTOR _ correct.
Yeah, you can book us on your on Facebook. On the
Facebook
page.
too. We have that on Facebook too. So we have all of our services and our fees listed on there. You guys can use that for now. We're up. We're gonna get our website up and running soon, but for now you can schedule if you need it through Facebook.
Right. So yeah, everybody who's over 18, subscribe to Ember. Make her all the way to.
Please. Mostly OnlyFans, but if you want things for free, Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah. Make Ember number one on oldie fans.
Yes, she's number one.
Yes.
Come on, guys.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate your time and for answering all of our questions in the industry. Hopefully, we made you feel at ease and comfortable during this episode. And we wish you nothing but the best. We can't wait to see that parody, that you got out right now in the film festival circuit.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, that's gonna be
thank
great.
you. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Ember. I hope you had a lot of fun because I sure did have a lot of fun.
I did
Yes.
too. Thank you for listening. It's rare.
You're welcome.
Oh, I have been Ruby Rodriguez.
And I've been Nathaniel Avila.
And I
And
am
this is
Snow.
Yay!
Thank you
And
guys for tuning in today to this video, and you guys have a great rest of the week
yeah,
and month. Till next time.
yeah.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to a Vision podcast, home of Wacky Talkies, The Kingdom, Evil Exists, and many more.